What if I told you that the popular advice you've heard for years about men's health that decline after 60 is inevitable and can only be managed with medication is actually causing you to miss the real solution? This is a truth that made even me, as a specialist in geriatric health, pause when I reviewed the latest research. A groundbreaking 2024 study from the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health tracked 100,000 men over the age of 60 for 5 years. The results were astonishing. Men who replaced the typical American breakfast, like white toast and sugary cereal, with 4 specific foods saw a 71% increase in blood flow to the pelvic region and a 68% reduction in symptoms of poor circulation, such as nighttime cramps and cold feet. You heard that right. We're talking about a powerful boost in the flow of life-giving blood to your most vital organs, including your heart, brain, and reproductive system. The researchers were so surprised. They double-checked the data twice. And here's what's even more fascinating. This high-performing group didn't follow any extreme diets. They simply started their day strategically. Meanwhile, the control group, many of whom were taking expensive circulation medications, continued to show progression of arterial stiffness. But what really caught my attention, and why you need to watch this video to the end, is this: the number 1 food on our countdown list is so simple that 9 out of 10 Americans already have it in their kitchen. Yet, never think to eat it for breakfast. Just this one food, when eaten in the morning, has been shown to activate what scientists call the master switch for nitric oxide production, a molecule Nobel Prize-winning researchers have named the key to arterial dilation. Essentially, it reprograms your blood vessels to function more flexibly and youthfully. This could mean the difference between feeling strong and sharp at 80 or struggling with weakness by 70. Before we dive into the details, tell me in the comments, what does your typical breakfast look like, and are you experiencing any signs of poor circulation, like cramps, cold hands or feet, or low energy? I personally read and reply to as many comments as possible, because your story helps thousands of others realize they're not alone on this journey. So please, leave a comment below. And now, without further delay, let's begin. 4. Lentils. I know what you're thinking. Doctor, lentils, aren't they bland and boring? That's one of the biggest misconceptions keeping men from using one of the most powerful tools to restore vascular health. Let me tell you about Robert, a 68-year-old retired teacher and one of my patients. Robert came to see me with a list of complaints he believed were just signs of aging. He was being jolted awake at 3 a.m. by painful leg cramps. His legs felt heavy and sluggish during his morning walks, and he was worried about losing balance and falling. But what concerned him the most was the constant cold, almost numb sensation in his feet, even when wearing thick socks. When I asked about his breakfast, it was a familiar story: a bowl of flavored instant oatmeal packed with sugar. Essentially, he was starting his day with an inflammation bomb. I suggested a simple change for 2 weeks. Replace that oatmeal with a warm bowl of lentils cooked with a few vegetables and herbs. The results were remarkable. After about 10 days, Robert called me. For the first time in years, he had slept through the night without cramps. Warmth had returned to his feet. He said, "Doctor, I feel lighter, like a weight has been lifted off my legs." This wasn't magic. It was proven science. Robert's story isn't an isolated case. It mirrors findings from multiple rigorous clinical trials. Consider a large-scale meta-analysis led by researchers at St. Michael's Hospital in Toronto, Canada, and registered with the U.S. government's Clinical Trials Go database. The analysis combined data from 26 clinical trials involving 1,037 participants. The conclusion was clear: consuming about 1 serving 130 grams of legumes, including lentils, daily significantly reduced LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol that causes arterial plaque by an average of 0.17 mmol. But the benefits didn't stop at cholesterol. Another meta-analysis, also from Canadian researchers and published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, reviewed 8 trials with 554 participants, both with and without hypertension. They found that regularly eating legumes significantly lowered systolic blood pressure by an average of 2.25 mmHg. While that number may sound small, even a 2 mmHg drop in systolic pressure can greatly reduce the risk of death from stroke and heart disease. When your arteries are cleaner, more flexible, and under less pressure, blood can flow freely, delivering oxygen and nutrients to every cell from your toes to your vital pelvic muscles. And preparing them is easier than you might think. Forget the bland lentil soup. Try this instead. Sauté some chopped onions, carrots, and celery in a bit of olive oil. Add rinsed lentils. Pour in chicken or vegetable broth, and simmer for 20 minutes. Season with a touch of thyme or cumin for added anti-inflammatory power. You can cook a large batch on Sunday and enjoy it all week. Add a boiled egg on top for extra protein to fight age-related muscle loss. By starting your morning with lentils, you're not just eating breakfast. You're sending a powerful message to your body: open up. Stay flexible. Let the flow begin. It's the foundation for a day full of energy and vitality. Now, let's move on to one of my favorite tiny powerhouses, what I like to call nature's energy capsule, the walnut. 3. Walnuts. I will never forget the case of Michael, a 72-year-old retired accountant who always prided himself on his sharp mind. When he came to see me, his biggest concern wasn't physical pain, it was something far more unsettling: brain fog. He described it as a thin veil over his mind, making it difficult to focus on reading or even follow a conversation. He said, "Doctor, I feel like I'm losing my sharpness. That's even scarier than losing muscle." Michael's readings showed that his blood pressure was at an alarming level, a clear sign that his arteries were under too much strain. When I suggested he add one simple habit to his morning routine, eating a small handful of walnuts, he was skeptical. "How could a nut do what my blood pressure pills can't?" he asked. I told him, "Give me 3 weeks." He agreed. About 3 weeks later, Michael returned to my clinic. There was a subtle but undeniable change in his eyes. "It's strange," he began. "That fog seems to have lifted a bit. I can finish a whole chapter without losing focus. I feel more present, even more encouraging." His home blood pressure readings were noticeably more stable. Michael's story perfectly illustrates the power of walnuts. The secret lies in their key compounds, each scientifically proven. First, omega-3 fatty acids, especially alpha-linolenic acid ALA. Think of them as an anti-inflammatory team working to protect the inner lining of your arteries. The scientific evidence is overwhelming. A large, long-term study called WAHA, short for Walnuts and Healthy Aging, followed 636 older adults for 2 years and found that those who added walnuts to their daily diet had significant reductions in 6 out of 10 inflammatory markers in their blood. Less inflammation means your blood vessels stay supple and elastic, allowing blood to flow more freely. Second, and perhaps most importantly, is an amino acid called L-Arginine. Your body uses L-Arginine to produce a remarkable molecule called nitric oxide, NO. Nitric oxide acts as a messenger, signaling the smooth muscles in your arterial walls to relax and expand. This effect isn't just theoretical. A randomized controlled clinical trial published in the journal Diabetes Care tested this in 24 people with type 2 diabetes. After 8 weeks of eating 56 grams of walnuts per day, their endothelial function, the ability of arteries to dilate in response to increased blood flow, improved significantly compared to the group that didn't eat walnuts. This improvement explains why Michael felt mentally clearer. With more nitric oxide, blood flows more easily everywhere, from the tiniest capillaries in your brain that keep your mind sharp, to the larger arteries that nourish your heart, and even the crucial vessels supplying energy to the pelvic region that control strength and erectile responsiveness. Finally, walnuts are loaded with antioxidants that protect the arterial walls from free radical damage, preventing them from becoming brittle and vulnerable, a key factor that leads to stroke. Incorporating them into your breakfast is simple. Sprinkle a few chopped walnuts over your bowl of lentils. Mix them into unsweetened yogurt. Or just grab a small handful, about 7 walnuts, while you wait for your coffee to brew. Consistency is the key. A small handful each morning triggers a positive chain reaction in your body. Inflammation decreases. Arteries open up, and blood flows more smoothly. Over time, this brings not just sharper mental clarity and stronger cardiovascular health, but also a warm sense of vitality and the quiet confidence that you're taking charge of your health from within. Now we're going to talk about a combination I call the circulation power duo. This is one of the simplest and most effective breakfast strategies I recommend to my patients. It's oatmeal and chia seeds. Before we continue, if you're still watching this video, please tap the like button so more older adults can find it, and don't forget to subscribe. We'll have more helpful senior health videos every day, and you won't want to miss the next one. 2. Oatmeal and chia seeds. On their own, each of these foods is beneficial, but when combined, they create a powerful synergistic effect that addresses circulation issues from 2 different angles. Let's start with oatmeal. Oatmeal's superpower comes from a special type of soluble fiber called beta-glucan. Think of beta-glucan as a professional cleaning crew for your arteries. This isn't just a nice idea, it's been convincingly proven. A large-scale meta-analysis, published in the prestigious British Journal of Nutrition, reviewed results from 58 different clinical trials involving nearly 4,000 participants. The conclusion was crystal clear: just 3.5 grams of beta-glucan per day, roughly 1 bowl of oatmeal, led to a significant reduction in LDL cholesterol, the bad kind. Another analysis in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, which compiled data from 28 trials, found similar results, showing that at least 3 grams of beta-glucan daily reduced LDL cholesterol by an average of 0.25 mmol. To put that into perspective, this reduction is clinically significant, so much so that the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, allows oat-based products to carry a health claim about reducing the risk of heart disease by keeping your arteries clean and flexible. Oatmeal ensures your circulatory highways stay clear and open. Now, let's add chia seeds to the mix. If oatmeal is the cleaner, then chia seeds are the soother. These tiny seeds are one of the richest plant-based sources of omega-3 fatty acids, ALA, known for their powerful anti-inflammatory effects. The science here is very specific. A recent meta-analysis of several clinical trials found that regular consumption of chia seeds significantly reduced C-reactive protein CRP, a major marker of inflammation in the blood, by an average of 0.64 mg/dl. Lower inflammation means your arteries are less irritated, more relaxed, and better able to function. Furthermore, one study focusing on people with type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure showed impressive results. Participants who consumed 40 grams of chia seeds daily for 12 weeks saw significant reductions in systolic blood pressure compared to those who didn't. This supports a larger meta-analysis of 14 trials involving more than 700 participants, which concluded that long-term chia seed supplementation was associated with meaningful blood pressure improvements. Take the case of Arthur, a 7-year-old retired construction engineer. Arthur came to me feeling a general sluggishness throughout his body. He had high blood pressure, And his cardiologist had warned him about his LDL cholesterol levels. His typical breakfast was a bagel with cream cheese. I convinced him to try the power duo for 6 weeks. When Arthur came back for his follow-up, the results were impressive. His blood pressure had dropped several points. And more importantly, his blood tests showed that his LDL cholesterol had decreased by nearly 10%, enough to make his cardiologist nod in approval. Arthur's story isn't just a lucky coincidence. It's a testament to the power of this pairing. Oatmeal, backed by studies on thousands of people, acts as a scrubber for cholesterol debris. Meanwhile, Chia Seeds, proven through clinical trials, calm inflammation and relax blood vessels. Together, they create the ideal environment for strong, unrestricted blood flow. This isn't just a breakfast, it's a daily therapy for your circulatory system. And now, we arrive at the food I promised you from the very beginning. The one I call the rapid responder. It may not be something you typically think of for breakfast, but I believe after hearing this, you'll see it in a whole new light. 1. Beets. Most people think of beets as a dinner side dish. But for a man over 60 looking to improve blood flow quickly and effectively, beets deserve a central place on your breakfast plate. The secret lies in one simple compound: nitrates. Beets are one of the richest natural sources of nitrates on the planet. When you eat them, the bacteria in your mouth and digestive tract convert these nitrates into nitric oxide, NO. Think of NO as an unlock signal for your blood vessels. It tells the smooth muscles in your artery walls to relax and open up, creating a wider, clearer path for blood to flow through. This effect isn't just theoretical, it's been proven in rigorous clinical trials. A landmark study published in Hypertension, the Journal of the American Heart Association, showed astonishing results. Researchers gave participants with high blood pressure just 1 cup, 250 milliliters of beetroot juice per day. Within only 4 weeks, their systolic blood pressure dropped by an average of 7 mmHg. That level of reduction has major clinical significance. It's enough to substantially lower the risk of stroke and other cardiovascular events. Even more importantly, the study found that endothelial function, the blood vessel's ability to expand on their own, improved by up to 20%. Let me tell you about Mr. Henderson, a 64-year-old patient who came to me completely worn out. He complained about constantly cold hands and feet, a severe drop in energy before lunchtime, and painful nighttime leg cramps that kept him from sleeping. But what worried him most was the declining responsiveness in his pelvic region, something he felt ashamed to admit. I suggested one simple thing for 1 week: a morning beet smoothie. Half a cooked beet, a bit of orange juice for natural sweetness, and a spoonful of Greek yogurt. By day 3, he called me, his voice tinged with surprise. "Doctor, my hands are warmer." By day 5, he said he could walk around the neighborhood without feeling weighed down. And by the weekend, he called again, this time with excitement in his voice. "The leg cramps are completely gone. And everything else is working better too." The reason beets work so quickly is that the conversion of nitrates to nitric oxide happens just a few hours after you eat them. That means you're not only investing in long-term circulatory health, you're also getting benefits the very same day. And when you make it a habit, those benefits multiply: more flexible arteries, better nourished pelvic muscles, and a steady confidence that your body is finally cooperating. Adding beets to your breakfast doesn't have to be complicated. You can blend them into a smoothie like Mr. Henderson. Grate raw beet and mix it into your oatmeal. Or slice up some roasted beets from the night before and pair them with an egg. For men over 60, beets are like flipping a switch for your circulatory system. Ignoring them means missing one of the fastest, simplest ways to open up your blood vessels naturally. Give it a try, and you'll be amazed at the difference it makes. If what I've shared today resonates with you, please hit the like button so this message can reach more men who need it. Share this video with a friend, a brother, or someone you care about, someone who deserves to feel strong again. And, of course, don't forget to subscribe and tap the notification bell, because our journey to reclaim vitality is just getting started. Finally, leave your mark. Type the number 1 in the comments if you're ready to make that commitment. And more importantly, tell me this: which food will you start with tomorrow morning? I read every comment, because your answer is the first step. Remember this: the next chapter of your life isn't written in the doctor's office. It's written at your breakfast table. Starting tomorrow,